Hey everyone, you're now listening to Cup of Queens with Paige and Saray, and we're so excited to have Taylor Lyngstad, the owner of Train with Taylor. Taylor offers one-on-one personal training and healthy lifestyle coaching options to her clients to help change their body, mind, and lifestyle. Taylor shares with us her fitness favorites, motivation tips, and common roadblocks we all face on the journey to a healthier self. Within our interview, it is clear that Taylor has a passion for helping others feel confident within their own skin and creating a lifestyle they love. So grab your cup and enjoy!
Hey guys.
How are you?
Good. How was Mexico? I was so jealous.
It was so much fun.
It was so it's
warm.
hard to come back, especially when it decides to snow, like out of nowhere.
This is the most annoying thing ever.
I know. I woke up this
Ready for this to be done.
and I'm like, okay, here we are.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to get all the dog poop in my backyard picked up on Friday, and that's not going to happen.
Oh, shoot.
I know. You haven't dealt with that yet because your little guy is still small
He's still
enough where
little.
he's barely goes
Poops on the deck.
Do you hire someone to do it?
No, but I should.
It's literally the best money in the spring you'll ever spend.
A coworker of mine, she does hire it out, and she has a little like neighbor boy who will do it for like $30. And I started to work at it, and then she was like, "Oh, he's coming out this Saturday." I'm like, "Shoot, I just did half
What a
of it."
waste.
Well, especially with 2 dogs now, it would take me all day.
I couldn't.
And it's just like disgusting and gross by the end of the winter, and I don't want to deal with it. So
No time for that. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever.
Oh, how's life? What's new?
It's good. Just living, thriving, the same old. But we want to know what's new with you, because I feel like you have so much new since the last time I like truly spoke with you.
The last 2 years have kind of been a whirlwind in a good way, but
A hugely good way. And we're so excited to hear about that. I mean, I don't know if we told you this in our emails, but we've had quite a few people like recommend you for the podcast. So I know everyone listening is also very excited. But we're just going to jump right in if you don't mind. So tell us about yourself, give us kind of the backstory, and especially the backstory on how you got into the career path that you're at today.
So it's kind of really random, actually. I used to work in accounting. I was at Ernst & Young in Minneapolis, went to school for accounting and finance, and we moved to Fargo in 2017. And I didn't really have friends here that were mine. Like I knew all of Steven's buddies' wives, but didn't have people that like I clicked with. So I figured while we were building our house and we moved 2 weeks before our wedding, that I would work at the front desk at Orange Theory and start coaching at Solid Core. It was right when they opened, just to try and meet people that I had things in common with. And one thing led to another, and I never went back to accounting. And I started training the coaches for Solid Core, did that for a few years, which was a blast, got to travel all over. But then when the pandemic hit, I started just kind of out of the blue doing virtual classes. And that was oddly the most like nerve-wracking thing ever, just because it's weird being on screen. It's one thing when you're in person and people can see you and hear you, but when, I don't know, it's just different when they're like watching you on a screen and you're the only person they're looking at.
Yeah.
I was nervous, and it was bizarre because I'd coached like 1,000 classes at that point. And that kind of segued into more personal training. I went through a health coaching program. So I do a lot of health coaching with nutrition, and it's just been really fun and really rewarding. I've met a ton of cool people, and it's perfect with having Harper and then having a second one coming, just being able to kind of make my own schedule, plan it around when I want to spend time with her or when the nanny can be here, and have people come in and out of my house or do it virtually versus driving halfway across town, because I live in North Fargo. So it's 25 minutes to get to West Fargo where Solid Core was, or 20 to Orange Theory.
Yeah.
So it just saves a ton of time, way more convenient. And it's just nice to like be home if I want to, but still get the fulfillment of helping people and working with people. And it's kind of my social time too.
And it's your own. I mean,
Yeah.
it's your own thing. You make the rules, you call the shots. I'm sure that's gotta bring some value to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It's so nice not having to answer to literally anybody. I don't have to follow a certain workout, a certain muscle focus, a plan. I can go completely based on what a different client wants. If they just put the ball completely in my court, that's a ton of fun. I don't have to work with like a gym like the Y or Edge Fitness or Family Wellness, getting in and out, working around other people. And I know a lot of my clients actually love not being in like a true gym setting, just because it's a little intimidating at first. When you walk in and all these people are throwing weights around or sprinting on the treadmill and doing things you are a little intimidated by. So being one-on-one without any of the distractions is really awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah. So then do you create all the workouts for your clients from start to finish and like customize them all? Okay. That's so neat. Cool.
Yeah. So every day will be different. Some people want to add in some cardio and more like jump lunges, hit focus moves, box jumps, sprints on the treadmill. Mm-hmm. And other people purely want to focus on more strength training. So I tailor it based on that. And then depending on if they come work out twice a week or if they go 4 or 5 times a week, it'll be different based on frequency too.
Okay. Cool.
And then where they're at, obviously, in their fitness journey. I have 23-year-olds and I have 50-year-olds that obviously need very different workouts. They're in very different stages of life.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's so interesting. And I feel like that probably keeps you on your toes with just like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to create for this person? So tell us, when you do get contacted by, or, you know, someone reaches out to you for your services, what is kind of the biggest concern that you hear people come to you for?
A lot of it, especially in the last couple of years, has been weight loss with the pandemic. Mm-hmm. I've also had a lot of moms that are trying to get back into the swing of things after having kids, whether it's 6 weeks after, right when they get cleared, or if it's 6 years after and they just haven't taken time to prioritize themselves. Just kind of gaining confidence back, gaining strength, having energy to go about their day-to-day lives. Mm-hmm. And that's the coolest part, is when they come in the morning, get a solid workout in, and then the first couple of weeks are obviously tough. You're sore, you run out of energy, your body's not used to it. Then a couple of weeks later, they start talking about how much better they feel in literally every aspect, whether it's being a mom, being a wife, being a spouse, having relationships with their families, having their careers, they're more productive. Just being able to kind of move and get the good energy flowing in the gym translates so well into the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Could not agree more.
I know. Well, we always talk about like, once you're moving, you just keep moving.
Yes.
You know, so like it's going to spiral into so many different things. I'm so curious on health tips and different hacks. So because you do a lot with the fitness side too, and the health. So what are some of your favorite health tips and tricks that you can share?
So I would say the biggest, like, quote unquote trick is you have to be consistent with whatever you do. I don't care if you do Zumba 5 days a week, if you go lift super heavy, if you go to Orange Theory, if you go to yoga, if you go for a walk on the treadmill, just do something that you will keep doing. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Same with diets. If you're counting calories, if you're counting macros, it doesn't really matter what you do to a point. Obviously, you want to focus on things that are going to do more for your body versus eating like a pack of Oreos every single day or sitting on the couch and watching Netflix all day, every day. But if it's something that you enjoy and will continue to do, it might be a slower process than the crash diets, than the quick fixes, than the super intense programs, but it's going to be way more sustainable in the long run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do you find, so if somebody does the same workout like every day, so say I ride my bike every day, is that bad because I'm doing the same thing? No.
I would never say like exercise or movement is bad. It's never going to hurt to add in other types of exercise just to give your body a break, because any sort of repetitive movement, like cycling, like running, like even squatting every single day. You want to give your muscles a break, a chance to recover, but something lower impact like biking or walking or even yoga, it's going to be easier to do on a more consistent basis just because it's not having the wear and tear on your joints. It's not breaking your body down as much as some of the more high intensity types of exercise.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not bad if you ride your bike every day. I would think it's great that it's something you like to do.
Yeah.
And you can.
Can't really.
I mean, I don't do it every day. I was just saying as an example, like, is this bad? Because I'm like, gosh, I feel like I'm just working the same muscles every day, but okay.
I mean, it's 1,000 times better than the alternative of doing nothing, right?
That's
exactly.
So true.
So true.
Yeah.
But okay, I love what you said about consistency, and you hear it all the time. And I think that you hear consistency with, any type of major goal that you have in life. But I would imagine that within working with your clients, you hear them speak to different roadblocks that prevent them from maybe reaching their goals, consistency being one of them. But what are some other, roadblocks that you feel like you have to help kind of maneuver your clients through?
I think the two biggest ones, one, putting themselves first, whether it's for half an hour out of the day, 20 minutes, an hour, just kind of prioritizing you, especially when there's life happening and people are pulling you in all different directions, whether it's your career, whether it's friends, whether it's a trip you want to go on, whether it's your kids not sleeping well. You have to give yourself that time and basically block it out and not feel selfish about it. And I've noticed that even being a mom, like if I don't block that time out for me, I am so much crabbier the rest of the day. I can't give as much to Harper, to Steven, to my family as I do when I can take that time just to kind of decompress, to focus on me, to feel like I'm making a difference in my life and bettering myself. So prioritizing themselves is number one. And number two, I think relying on motivation too much, because I think we all know like motivation is very fleeting. You have it or you don't have it. It comes and goes. You never know when it's going to come. But if you stop relying on that completely and just kind of make yourself do it, right? We don't want to go to work every day. We don't want to get out of bed every day. We don't want to work out every day all the time. Making it a habit versus relying on the times you're super motivated and ready to go crush life is going to make a huge difference. And again, that will lead to consistency, which is what we just talked about. But relying on discipline, relying on just making yourself do something instead of, oh, I'll take today off. Oh, I'll take tomorrow off. Oh, I'll take the next day off. Oh, I'll start Monday. I'll start on the first of the month. There's always an excuse. So you just kind of have to get to the point where you just start.
Yeah. Not think, just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets to the point where it's not even a conscious decision you make. It's part of your routine. Get out of bed, you make your bed in the morning, you brush your teeth, you get dressed. It becomes as natural as that, as part of how your day goes.
So you're so busy with your own clients and your own family. So how do you keep yourself motivated to work out and continue to, have your own goals and stay motivated?
Remembering how much better I feel after I do it. Like this morning I had a few partner groups. So I had 7 people before 8:30 a.m. all together in different chunks of time. And by the time 9:30 rolled around, I was like, I am so tired. I do not want to work out, but I will feel so much better. I'll have more energy after if I do. And I always kind of give myself the 10-minute rule. If I start, make it 10 minutes and I still don't want to do it, I can stop.
I love that.
Because starting is always, always, always the hardest part. And 99 times out of 100, I'll keep going. But if you do want to stop, you gave yourself the 10 minutes you told yourself you would, and it's totally fine.
That's great. I'm literally doing that.
Gonna think that every time, because that's so true. There's so many times where you get on your Peloton or start driving your workout class and you're like, oh my gosh, nothing sounds worse. But once you're there, I would say with even in the first 2 minutes, you forget about that, but
Yeah.
it's such a mind game.
Getting dressed and starting is the hardest part every single time. So
Yeah.
I just have to remind myself of that. As long as I start, I'm generally okay.
Yeah,
totally.
You know, and aside from motivation to stay on your own fitness goals, I do think hearing about the motivation and the confidence that it took to start your own business. I mean, to start this totally different career path than what you were on. So how did you, I know you even mentioned before that, you know, being on camera was scary, but what was kind of the thought process where you were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this my own and we're just going to start?
Honestly, it was just kind of like, can I swear on this thing? I don't
even let it fly.
Okay, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? It's not going to work. And then I'm back to square one.
Yeah.
Like you can always fall back on something. There's always a different route you can go. But if you don't kind of follow your gut instinct and follow what your heart and your mind are telling you to just go for, there's always going to be like that what if, that regret behind not doing it. So I just kind of jumped in and I didn't give myself a lot of time to go back on my plan. Like with the first class, I think I posted on like 2 days before that I was doing it.
Really?
And I put it all over social media and I was like, okay, here we go. Everyone knows they're signed up. I can't not do it now. So just jumping off into the deep end.
Can you explain to us what like that first couple weeks looked like to what it looks like now? Like how it's changed and grown and progressed?
So it's changed. It's definitely changed a lot from like group focused. When all the studios were closed for the first year, I would say I did classes 5 or 6 days a week, like group ones. And then once things started opening back up, people had different options. And I started talking to a few people that had taken a bunch of classes just about what they were missing. And they were very interested in the personal training or the small group training, but didn't want to do it at a family wellness or somewhere where they didn't know somebody or like a huge gym. So I started, when did I take my first personal training client? I can't even remember. It was probably about a year ago now, a year and a half ago. And it was really fun just to connect one-on-one with that person and hear more about their goals as far as health and wellness and working out and what they wanted out of it. Because when you're in a class, like, you go to Orange Theory, they don't talk to you one-on-one about like, what exactly do you want out of this? What are you looking to gain? So it's cool to hear that aspect. And then just like, they become some of your best friends. It's really vulnerable to trust yourself to somebody like that and to share concerns that you have or weaknesses that you have or quote unquote flaws that they want to change. Just to open up completely is a vulnerable thing. And I swear half the time it turns into like a therapy session too while we're lifting. Like I've had people cry and hugs happen. And it's really cool because it brings out a different side of people when it's a one-on-one versus a group.
Totally. Yep.
And I feel like the other portion that I could see and I could imagine that you bring to your clients is just that accountability. I mean, when you build that friendship and trust, I'm sure they don't want to cancel on you because now they're like, well, Taylor's going to be pissed at me if I don't show up today.
Yeah.
Whereas if your workout class, who's going to miss you, you know?
Yeah, they know I'll give them about it. I've had a couple people, especially early in the morning, they'll text me like 10 minutes after they were supposed to start. Oh my God, F me, I'm the worst person ever. I slept through my alarm. I'm so sorry. I don't know how to make this up to you. And they'll be like freaking out. It's like, it's okay. It happens, but you know, we're going to make up for it next time kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
But it is a huge accountability factor. I have a few clients that have been with me for 6 or 12 months and they still go to the gym on their own on vacation. And they'll text me after and say, I literally couldn't remember one thing that we do in our sessions. I remembered like 3 moves and I just did them for 20 minutes and left because I didn't know what else to do. But done hundreds of different things and hundreds of workouts at that point, and they just like draw a blank.
I believe that though. I feel like I relate to that so much. I can think of a million workouts that I've done, but if I don't have someone there telling me what to do, I mean, I would just stand like twiddling my thumbs for 20 minutes because I'd be like, I don't really know what to do next. It's so weird.
Well, I feel like that's why a lot of people don't even like to go to the gym, because they get there and they're like, okay, now what? I'm here. Like, what do I do? It's intimidating, you know? And
totally.
But anyway,
I completely agree.
Do you have, I don't know if maybe I don't remember if you asked this already, but you know, thinking about your clients, I think that story is so funny how obviously they care so much about, you know, what you think. Do you have a favorite success story that you've had with one of your clients?
My favorite one recently is probably a girl that started, and I've known her for a while. She's been a friend for a while. She has gone up and down in weight a few times, and she was at one of her highest points, feeling really, really bad about herself. And she came, and the first 6 weeks, we took pictures at the beginning and after 6 weeks, and her progress was insane. Like, her clothes weren't fitting. She looked like a totally different person. She was way more productive at work. She said she was staying up to she's a realtor, said she was staying up till 10:30 at night working, and she's never done that before just because she wanted to. She would do it because she had to. But she has tripled the amount of business she was doing since she started working out, and now it's been 6 months. And the really funny part about that is a week before we took her pictures, she came to me bawling because she stepped on the scale and had gained 8 pounds. But obviously the scale is not indicative of everything that's going on in your body, especially when you start strength training and you haven't done it in a really long time. You're going to gain muscle. Your body's going to hang on to inflammation. So you can be you look smaller and you're denser and you're tighter and you are 1,000 times stronger, but you might weigh a little bit more. But she literally had spent the night before crying to her husband, came to me the next day, cried. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I thought I felt so good. I said, you look great. Let's take these pictures. And then she looked and her jaw was literally on the ground.
Oh, that's cool.
Amazing.
It's really cool to see their confidence go through the roof, especially when they don't expect it to happen.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And I love, you know, to your point, which I know we've talked about this, but it affects every part of your life, you know, that little bit of confidence or just having that boost of energy, it does trickle into other areas that I think a lot of people focus on, you know, what you look like. When you think of working out, sometimes you just can't help it. A lot of people's heads go to, you know, getting a flatter stomach, getting, you know, a nicer butt, those different things. And when you hear things like that, where she tripled her sales in her business, I mean, that to me is what I think is so cool about fitness and health.
It's awesome. And like you talked about the flatter stomach thing, the biggest shift I've noticed is that when people start focusing more on what they can gain from getting healthier versus what they have to lose, that's when things really start to click and fall into place, and they start enjoying workouts more instead of dreading them. They start enjoying making healthier choices in the kitchen versus grabbing McDonald's on the way home because it's easy and fast. It's a mindset shift, looking at what you can gain versus what you have to lose. And I think it helps make it more of a lifestyle versus a goal with an end date or an end weight, I should say.
Totally.
Yeah. And just knowing you're going to feel so much better.
Yes.
It's like, that's motivation in itself to get up and do something. But so if you could only do one workout for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
One workout is so hard because strength training is so good for you. And as far as especially females, strength training as we get older is one of the best things we can do. Keep our bones strong, keep our muscles strong. Balance is a huge thing. People fall and break their bones. We all know women have a higher rate of osteoporosis as we get older. Strength training helps combat a lot of that. Plus, if people are looking to completely change their body composition, it's going to make the biggest difference for that. But then cardio is really good for you. It's great for your heart. but people forget that walking is also cardio. So if I could do one thing, it would be strength train and then go for a walk every day. It doesn't have to be crazy. Just like literally walk and move your body, and you will notice a huge difference.
I love that it's getting nicer now. Not today, but like last week when it was so nice, it was amazing to get out and just walk, and just the fresh air was great.
I felt I had 1,000 times more energy than I do this week.
Totally. Yep.
It's insane to me. Okay. I do want to, so tell us how old is Harper now?
He turns 1 in just under 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Okay. And then when are you due with your second?
July 7th.
Okay. July 7th. So exciting.
So exciting. That'll come quick.
So it'll be crazy for a little while, but it'll be fun.
It will be crazy. And I think it's obviously so exciting, but to touch on just that balance. And I think moms that are listening to this episode would love to hear kind of you speak to, what you can do while pregnant, what you've done with, having Harper around and trying to balance. I know I've seen you post photos of her in the workout room with you, which I'm like, what a multitasker. Yeah. That's amazing. So, speak to us on some of these tips that either, pregnant or with kids that have really helped you stick to your fitness goals.
So fitness goals pregnant obviously changed a lot. I'm a very competitive person, and I loved going to like classes and racing people on the treadmill at Orange Theory, or seeing who could lift more. Or once I got my Peloton bike and tread, trying to beat my friends on there. And then when I got pregnant, it shifted more to, okay, let's see how long I can feel good for. Let's see how long my body can perform for, while obviously like still listening to it. So with Harper, and even now, I haven't really modified much in my workouts aside from core work. Okay. So I won't lay on the ground and do crunches. I won't do certain core moves on my back. Sometimes planks are modified if I notice any like coning in my stomach. So your abs start to separate a little bit. When it doesn't, so diastasis recti, if you've heard of that, that's when your core muscles literally separate to make room for the baby growing inside you. When it's an issue is when they don't come back together after you have your child.
Okay.
You'll see people with a gap, especially moms that have had a couple kids. So as long as I pay attention to engaging my core and making sure I don't feel pressure in a weird spot, and I work with a physical therapist that specializes in pelvic floor health, to kind of make sure I'm not overdoing it, both while I'm pregnant and postpartum. Other than that, I haven't really modified anything. I'm still lifting the same weights right now. I'm still running. I'm still biking, and I still feel really good. And then after I had Harper, I am not the poster child for listening to my doctor and waiting 6 weeks, but I also went to see my pelvic floor PT and talked with her about a game plan to kind of get back into the swing of things safely without putting too much pressure on my healing pelvic floor, on my core, on everything inside. So I eased back into it very, very, very slowly. It was just earlier, which I obviously want people to go talk to their doctors and find a physical therapist that they jive with. But I absolutely hate how in the US you have literally a 6-week appointment and I say, okay, you're good to go. Have sex, work out, do whatever you want. Like, you're healed.
Yeah.
To me. And I think that's why a lot of people have different issues, whether it's you do jumping jacks and you pee a little bit, or you sneeze and you pee a little bit, or you just feel like a heaviness. And working with a pelvic floor physical therapist has been one of the coolest things that I've done, and one of the things I'm most thankful for. But yes, find yourself a good PT, and remember that pregnancy isn't really a disability. You can still do a lot of cool things. And women's bodies were made for this. It doesn't mean we can't still train at a level that we were before for at least a good chunk of the pregnancy.
That is great to know.
That is
because I do think a lot of, I mean, obviously we've not experienced it, but you know, people pregnant, and I'm always like, oh my gosh, don't run too fast.
Yeah.
You know, I treat them like they can't
same.
do it, which I need to stop doing that because, you know, you're wanting to be protective and, you know, caring about them. But yeah.
And moving is one of the best things that you can do for both like your pregnant body and for your baby. It gets the blood flowing. It keeps you in a way better mood. Like we've talked about, it gives you more energy to handle the pregnancy. It helps stave off different aches and pains and back pain and sciatic stuff. And labor is way more of, everyone talks about how it's a marathon, but it's not cardio. It's your muscles are working.
Sure.
So it's like the strength workout of all strength workouts trying to push a baby out, especially if you're one of the women that is in labor for hours on end.
Yeah.
So just keeping your body strong. And I won't even get into how much my biceps get to work out now carrying Harper around.
There you go.
Yeah.
Can skip arm day a couple times.
You drop something and you're holding them. So you do like a full squat down to the ground to grab the remote that they dropped and stand up with it. It gets a workout with these little babies.
That's a great way to look at it.
Funny. Yeah. So we did put together a fun game, and I know a few of these we kind of touched on, but so we're just gonna rattle off. So it's called Taylor's Top Picks, and so you can give us the answer if you have an explanation, whatever you feel is good for that. So your favorite at-home workout?
Either the Train with Taylor 8-week strength program or Peloton for cardio.
Cool. Perfect. Favorite studio or gym workout?
Anything boot campy. I'm a sucker for Barry's boot camp.
I want to do a Barry's boot camp.
I know, same.
Everyone talks about it.
Yeah.
I've never been.
The smoothie bar after is the best, and they have Dyson hair dryers in the bathroom. It's like the bougiest place ever, and it's amazing.
Is the closest one Chicago?
Minneapolis has one now.
Oh, cool.
Okay, this is great to know.
Yeah, let's make a road trip.
Yeah,
and go do that. That's awesome. Okay, your favorite activewear?
I'm a Lulu junkie.
Can't go wrong. Favorite pre-workout?
I like the Vital Proteins pre-workout.
Protein.
Ooh,
Is that like a powder? What is that?
The powder. So you've probably seen the Vital Proteins collagen that grandmother takes. They have a performance line where they have a recover supplement. They have a sleep supplement, but I love their pre-workout.
Really?
It doesn't give me like tingles, just a nice solid energy.
Okay.
I need
I've
to try
never
that.
been a pre-workout girl. And I think like the older I get, I'm losing like my energy a little bit. So I feel like I need to get on that.
Yeah.
It every day. I just take it on like the really tough days. Normally black coffee is my pre-workout.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If I were to take one, it's that one.
Okay.
Is C4 good
Still
or
a
bad?
thing?
Is that's what Landon takes?
I used to take that one in college. I just like this one. The ingredients are a little bit more streamlined and minimal.
Sure.
Yeah.
The tingly feeling with this that I did with the C4.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. What about favorite post-workout?
Favorite post-workout? Usually it's just my big breakfast because I like working out in the morning. If it's later on, I love just a big green smoothie with protein or collagen in it.
Yeah. We need to plug your Instagram because you post the most amazing food.
Yes.
there.
Oh my gosh.
I am
yes.
like dead every time you post your meals because I don't make anything remotely close to that, but I'm like, that gives me inspiration. I need to
Same.
start.
I post really easy meals. Like none of my stuff takes more than 20 minutes because I am lazy and don't want to spend hours in the kitchen. So
I think you need to do like a little cooking class because you're teasing everybody with all these great meal photos and I need a breakdown of how you're doing it.
I can do that.
Okay.
I want to know your breakfast bowl recipe. That always looks bomb.
So
Is that just like
good.
oatmeal with a bunch of peanut butter and then fruit?
Oh, lately I've been on the oatmeal kick. Yep. So I just do oatmeal or oat milk with whatever milk you have on the stove. The best part is mashing up half of the banana in the oatmeal while it cooks.
Oh,
Because then it's like banana bready and gets really sweet and yummy.
Yum.
that sounds so
I'm
good.
gonna make that tomorrow.
It's protein powder if you want and fruit on top.
Amazing.
Yum.
It is so simple. It's just like, I need to think about it. I need to literally write this on my fridge. So when I'm scrambling to make something, I remember it.
And the hardest part is doing it once and doing it the first time.
Yeah.
Once you do it once and you realize how easy it is, you'll do it every day.
Totally.
Okay, good to know.
I love it. Okay. Favorite fitness app?
I just use the Peloton one for outdoor runs. Other than that, I don't really use an app.
The Peloton app is really great. And I, before I got my bike, didn't realize that you couldn't get the app without the bike. And it's actually so great. It is like the workouts on there, or even just like, the runs. It's good.
Yeah, I personally don't love all the strength workouts they have. I know some people do. I'm just not a fan of them. I think they're more fast paced than I like. And I like going heavier and slower for strength training. But all the outdoor runs, if you haven't taken them, are amazing.
I've never done
meditation. The meditation before bed is literally a lifesaver if you can't fall asleep.
They are good. I've not gotten super into meditation, but I've done the Peloton ones and I really like them.
I never make it to the end. I'm always asleep by.
It's working. That's good to know though. Yeah. Okay. What about a favorite fitness gadget?
I wear my Whoop activity tracker. I used to be an Apple Watch girl.
Yep. Okay.
I got way too OCD about closing the rings every day, even when I knew I should take a rest day. Like, dang it, I'm on 30 days straight. I have to close these rings, or I'm on 5 days straight and I have to close it. So I switched to a Whoop. It's more personalized on how your body is recovered that day, based on heart rate, based on how much sleep you got. And it will give you basically a score to strive for with your workouts.
I think that's so cool.
That's really cool.
I don't know a ton of people who have the Whoops, but I've seen like the people who have them are diehards. Like they love them.
I'm obsessed.
Yeah. Okay. We kind of already talked about this, but I need to hear more. So I'm going to ask it again. Favorite breakfast?
Lately, it's been the oatmeal bowls we talked about. I also love just an egg bowl. Throw whatever veggies you have in your fridge that need to be used in an air fryer. Fry up an egg and add everything but the bagel seasoning, because that's the best thing ever and you're good to go.
Yum. That's so great. Okay. Favorite lunch?
Any sort of massive salad with chicken and avocado or salmon.
I need to do more salmon. I forget salmon.
The smoked salmon at Hornbacher's is like the hidden gem of Fargo.
Really?
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Yum.
Yep. I trust your word there. Favorite dinner?
Taco night's my favorite. Love burrito bowls. Otherwise, grilling season in the summer.
Yes. We're so close. We're so close.
I know.
Grilled food just tastes better.
Yeah, totally. What about favorite snack?
Dates with nut butter. It's been my go-to for forever.
Oh, really? I have never heard of this.
Same.
So I started it when I was pregnant with Harper, because apparently dates like prepare your cervix for labor and help.
Really?
It actually helps, but I had an easy labor, so I'm going to say it did. Yeah, take a date. The ones at Costco are the best. They're not like dry. They're super thick and juicy. Slice it in half, take the pit out, put whatever nut butter you like in it, and a little bit of sea salt on top.
That sounds bomb.
It's the best.
Why has this not been discussed ever? I like that sounds so good. I've never in my life ever thought of that.
Same.
You're going to be hooked.
I'm buying that tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay. Last one, favorite way to hydrate. And if you have multiple, I'd love to hear a couple different variations.
A massive tumbler with a straw. I have my big Yeti. I know people like hydro flasks, whatever with a straw has a straw gets me to drink water. I'm not a huge liquid IV fan personally, just because I don't love how they taste. I like the Nuun, N-U-U-N.
Oh,
okay.
Tablet versus like a packet. And you just throw it in your water. I like the strawberry lemonade one. Fewer ingredients, less sugar. And sugar is not a bad thing when you're rehydrating. It's like a Gatorade. But when I'm having it every day, it's nice to kind of cut back on that a little bit.
Yeah,
totally.
Otherwise, coconut water is awesome.
Coconut water.
We were just talking about that in Mexico.
Literally, I think coconut water is so underrated. I personally don't love the taste of it. But if you are like so dehydrated or feeling gross, especially like in the sun after drinking, coconut water saves you, I swear.
Use it in your smoothies or honestly your oatmeal instead of water. If you do coconut water in it, it's really good.
That is so
Dang.
genius.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I need to find more ways to incorporate it because I can tell a huge difference like within even 20 minutes of drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
I throw it in almost all my smoothies.
Okay. Good to know.
Got the dates, coconut water. What that one new, whatever you
Noon,
said,
yeah.
noon. Yeah, that I got it. Okay, go to Target.
Yep. Target. Here we come.
Yeah. Target too.
Where?
They have them all at Target, I think.
Oh, cool.
Good.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. So last question, we always try to ask our guests this, but what does a queen mean to you?
I think it means, or to me, I guess, more so knowing that your own success and other people's successes aren't mutually exclusive. They're not fighting each other. Lift everybody up and the entire world will benefit.
That's perfect.
Yes.
That's great.
We love to hear it.
Yeah.
Help each other out. We'll be a lot happier.
Yes. Yes.
Amen to that.
Amen to that. Well, thank you for
Thank
all
you
your
so
insight.
much.
I knew this would be such a great, conversation. And I know that so many people are going to want to connect with you after listening to this, if they're not already connected, but plug away, tell everyone where they can find you, maybe join some of your classes and stay in touch.
Yep. So I have classes Thursday mornings at 6:15. Those are all via Zoom. TaylorLyngstad.com. Otherwise, follow me on Instagram, Train with Taylor, and shoot me a message, DM, whatever works for you. Just know that going into summer, I'm not going to be accepting new clients for personal training until probably fall when things slow down with the new babe. So I want to focus on the current clients I have. So if you want to be one throughout the summer, I would reach out now.
Get in while you can.
Get in while you can.
You heard it first.
Thank you again. We're done here. We're done. We spent too much time together.